welcome to another episode of Gamerheads. My name is Roger, aka Rogue Leader 76, and with me are my co-hosts, Christian,
aka Fulgan,
and a special co-host. Filling in the seat for B this week, we have Karrington.
Hey, aka Desert Fury, aka Ladies Man.
Oh my god. Karrington, you make me laugh. Karrington, can I say something really funny?
Sure. Yeah, go right ahead.
I feel like you should be on So You Think You Can Dance. I don't know why, but I can see like, have you ever seen that show ever, Karrington?
I have. Quite a few celebrities, have tickled my fancy once or twice, and I love that show. Well, I don't love it, but I like it. I enjoy it.
But I can see Kat saying, "And here's Karrington," and then you do like this like little twist dance thing or whatever. I don't know. I can see that happening.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I could do it. You know, I can feel it.
Are you a good dancer? I believe that you would be a good dancer. I feel like you could get your groove on if you needed to.
If I needed to, if my life depended on it, I feel like I could dance. But I watch those like So You Think You Can Dance and like all those like dance competition stuff. I can't dance like those people. Let's just get that out the way. I can't do that. But I feel like with enough time and effort and training, I feel like I could do that though.
Yeah, I think you could. I think between the three of us, I believe that you would be most likely to make it on So You Think You Can Dance.
Absolutely, hands down.
Then Christian, I think you're next and me last. So
I don't know, Roger. You know some of that martial arts.
That's true, but yeah, it doesn't, All right, welcome to another episode of Gamerheads. So this week I have an icebreaker for us.
Uh-oh.
And the question that I have for the icebreaker is, what game do you play when you want to unwind? So, Karrington, we'll start with you since you are our special guest.
That's a really good question. If I'm wanting to literally unwind, it's probably right now. I can't even think of it all of a sudden. It's it was on the Switch. It was one of the reasons why I got a Switch. Give me a second. Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's a good game.
Yep, I love that game. I'm a huge fan of Puyo Puyo in general. Ever since Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine days, which is a reskin of Puyo Puyo. So yeah, I love puzzle games, and sometimes I feel like a pro player, but that doesn't always work out. But that's usually at the top of my list because I love puzzle games like that. Like Mateos or Meteos, however you want to pronounce it, on the DS, the original DS, was one of my favorite games on that system.
Nice.
I still play it sometimes today, actually. I love that game.
Puyo Puyo just doesn't register with my brain. I don't understand how I'm supposed to cascade those chains.
I get it. Because like after like playing Tetris for so many years and then switching it over to something like Puyo Puyo, it is a huge difference. You know, trying to instead of lining up lines, you're lining up colors, and you're doing it in a fashion where you're doing a chain reaction kind of thing. So you do have to think and strategize a lot differently than you do Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good game. I picked that game up about a month ago or so. So, yeah, I've enjoyed that game. I haven't played as much as probably I should have, but that's because other games are taking my time. So,
Gotcha. And if you ever go online, American players usually play Tetris, and Japanese players tend to play Puyo Puyo.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, but Puyo Puyo is supposedly where it's at, but Tetris, you can get combos easier, but not necessarily, it doesn't mean you'll win just because you get them easier.
Interesting.
Oh.
Good pick, Karrington. What about you, Christian? What's your relaxed game?
It's hard for me to pick just one because I'm always playing something different at the time. But there's a couple of games that I've played that I've found really great for just unwinding with. And one of them was Doom. When I first played through Doom on PC, it was just so cathartic to just sit back on my PC and then just blast away some demons. That was just so satisfying, doing some glory kills, ripping out eyeballs, shoving them down throats. Really great time. Have either of you guys played Doom 2016?
I have not.
No? I have not. Not yet.
Man. Not yet. I enjoyed it.
I know it's on Switch now.
It is?
I get most games on now. Yeah,
it is. So you got it.
So is Wolfenstein. So yeah,
Yeah, another game I like.
As the greats.
Yeah, but if I actually had to pick one, it would probably be The Binding of Isaac. Because if you read my Dead Cells review, it's clear that I really love Binding of Isaac. And, Dead Cells has been my unwind game of late because boy, is it good. But we'll talk about that later. What about you, Roger? What do you unwind to?
Let's see. I think the game that I unwind to is Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Oh, really relaxing.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, tonight there's fireworks in the town.
Don't want to miss that.
No, I know, right? But it's I love how you both go, ooh. Like... This show has just become rated E for everyone.
So are you going to get Animal Crossing on the Switch if one does come out, which it probably will.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah, I will definitely. I think that would be the reason that my wife would want to get a Switch. So my wife plays this game a lot too, and she last time I checked, she put over 400 hours into that game.
Oh my gosh.
She has almost every badge, every bug, every fish. I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but she's a completionist. And like, man, like I'm so impressed with the fact that she can like complete as many games as she does. I gave her Yoshi Wally World. I think I may have mentioned this too. And she's going through that and collecting everything. And she's like, she already beat it. Now she's going back to collect everything. I'm like, man,
that's impressive.
I think she's more of a gamer than I am. Like, but like,
those
yeah,
days are
so
long gone for me.
yeah. You know, I think my problem is like I see something new and flashy. I'm like, oh, I gotta play that. So, listeners, if you want to let us know what games you play to unwind, let us know. You can reach us by Twitter, and that's at Gamerheads PC, or you can email us. Karrington, we have an email address now.
What? How do I email you, Roger?
You can email us at info@gamerheadspodcast.com.
Oh, you got your own domain too? That's what's up.
Yeah. No, and Karrington, number
Yes, sir.
3. Number 3.
right. Number 3, not number 4. Number 3 on the iTunes.
Not anymore, but for a day we were at number 3. So
Congratulations. I was very proud of you guys because I'm like, oh yeah.
you guys were like number 2, right, on the iTunes list for a while?
Yes, sir. That was I was in 2017 at some point. I don't remember when. It was definitely in 2017. We hit number 2.
Wow.
Nice.
It was awesome for like a day or two. I don't remember how long.
Yeah. We our fame burnt out just like the burning star. You know.
Now I will say though, because you did get a jump, up to number 2. Did you see a rise in subs or anything like that?
We did. Some.
Nice. Yeah.
So that was cool.
That's what happened with us too. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So everybody that has subbed to our show recently, thank you so much. And those that have subbed in the past and continue to listen to us, thank you very much. So we love to hear from you. So you can reach us on both Twitter and email.
And I will say, Roger, now that you have your own domain and your email address, it makes it easier to contact developers, and they will more likely than respond, which is nice too. Just saying, just putting that out there. They respond a lot more now than it was when we were just gmail.com.
Oh, really? All right. Well, I feel more legit now, right? Like I feel, So reach out to us. We love to hear from you. Let's go on to the Gamerheads news flash then. All right, so I have some items here, and if you guys have items as well, please feel free to jump in. The first item that I have here, I'm pretty excited about this. Diablo 3 is coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Just talked about this on my show because we just recorded it an hour ago.
Oh.
Excited.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I'm excited. See, here's the thing, though. This will be triple dipping if I bought it on the Switch.
Jeez.
I have never played this game, so I'll probably get on Switch then. I've never played it. I've never owned it.
Oh, man.
It's really good.
It is. I've beaten it a couple times on PC. It's another game that's very cyclical. Like, you'll play it through once, and then you'll get better gear, and then everything just ticks up a notch, and then you play through the game again and again and again. You just keep going, grinding up that gear, getting really good. I've only played it on PC, but from what I hear, the console versions are great, and it's really great for something like couch co-op. And so that's what makes me think it's perfect for Switch, and it'll run at 60 frames, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It sounds great.
And I will say, I have a question. So I love Borderlands. I love that franchise, and a lot of people say like the loot system in that is similar to Diablo. Would you guys agree with that if you have played both games? Because like I said, I've never played Diablo before, like at all.
Christian, you probably know better than I would.
Yeah, it's similar to a Diablo system in that there's no like set equipment. Basically, everything's just randomly generated. So things will just be randomly dropped from enemies at a slightly higher power level than you're currently at. So you're always continuously progressing in that way. But yeah, it's like Borderlands in the sense that everything's very random. You'll get random buffs for things, and items will have random names and what have you.
Sweet. I like the way this sounds.
Yeah, that's why I think Borderlands initially had the Guinness World Record for the most weapons in a video game, because they like basically just calculated out how many possible weapons there could be with how many variables there are.
Yeah, this is true. And back in the day when it was first announced, everything was supposed to be completely random. Like you could have a sniper rifle that shoots rockets, but then they decided that was too crazy. So so if you like, they tone it down. So like if you see a sniper, you know you're gonna get a sniper rifle, that kind of thing. But when that game was first announced, like I was legit excited for like that kind of randomization.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I played it on the PS3, and then I played it on the PS4, and I played with a good friend of mine, a high school friend, a grade school friend, actually, on the PS3. So it'll be fun to play on the Switch. And Christian, I said that if I get it, we have to bring our Switches to work and play on our lunch breaks.
Absolutely. So. We're going to raid some dungeons at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys think...
On our lunch break.
Yeah, on our lunch break. Do you guys think that this bodes well for a possible Overwatch port on Switch?
So this is what we talked about on our show, and I say yes.
Yeah.
And this is why. So when the Switch was coming out, Blizzard was asked about Overwatch, and like, no, there's no way Overwatch is coming to Switch because it can't run it. Like that was flat out what they said. And they were asked about it after this announcement. They were like, you know what? We're concentrated on Diablo right now, but it's something we're going to look into once that team is done. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's a much better answer than last year. So I think it's possible with all of these ports coming to the Switch, especially, now that Diablo's coming and stuff like Wolfenstein and Doom have come in the past running just fine. I don't see why not at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe they might bring it with, the game Paladins is on a Switch, and it's funny because I think that Paladins has become so popular because of the Switch, right? Like because Paladins is really just a clone of Overwatch. I mean, if you look at it, but it's gaining popularity on the Switch, and people are like, oh, this is great. And if you look at like any of the Switch forums, like people love playing Paladins. Maybe that might sway them to bring Overwatch onto the Switch because of the fact that games like other games like theirs are getting popularity. But I don't know. I think the only thing that they wouldn't do it if there was any problems with it, and the port wouldn't be as good as either the PC or the console version. So I just don't think that they're gonna let their games be portrayed poorly on another system. That's my only thought.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, Roger.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it'd be cool if they did. I mean, I would be excited about that. I would probably double dip on that game.
I probably would if it came on Switch. Well, at that point, it'd be triple dipping for me because I have it on PC and Xbox.
Yeah, I have it on Xbox, so I can play with you and Kyle. So.
Oh yeah.
The next item that I have here, top EA executive Patrick Soderlund, a chief design officer, is leaving EA to start a new chapter of his life. So he was the former head of DICE when EA bought him back in 2006, I believe. And then he was keyed to the Battlefield and Star Wars Battlefront games, and also key for Frostbite engine as well.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It is. I don't have a lot of insight into this. He's going.
I don't either. Yeah.
Goodbye, EA guy. Hopefully a new EA guy will come and do good stuff.
Yeah. I thought I heard on another podcast that he made a boatload of money, and I thought they tried to offer him a boatload to keep him as well.
I believe the story was that he's been wanting to leave the position for a while now, and then he got like a huge bonus, multi-million-dollar bonus, like $8 million or something like that. He's like, okay, I'll stay another year, and then after that, he was like, yeah, still want to leave. Bye, guys.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what his new chapter is for sure.
Yeah.
So one of the people I like to watch on YouTube is Corridor. They do fantastic videos over there. And they also have a gaming channel called Node. And over on Node, they mentioned an unnamed EA executive. And I believe it's this one, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
And they said how upset he was over the whole like Battlefront controversy. They're like how depressed he was over it. Saying like, he's like, man, I thought we had it right. We worked so hard on this and we messed up. Like he was legit depressed about it.
Jeez.
Wow. Well, it's going to be interesting because our hot topic kind of ties into this. So there'll be a interesting debate. Listen to that in just a few minutes here. Next news item though I have is Bruce Campbell. Do you guys know who Bruce Campbell is?
Oh yes, of course.
Okay, okay.
If you don't know, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're off this podcast.
Exactly.
But he'll be lending his voice as Ash in the Evil Dead video game. Yet to be announced. Apparently, there's an Evil Dead game coming out.
Weird.
But rumor has it might be a VR game too. So
if it was anybody else voicing Ash, I would have to just throw that game away automatically.
Yeah, actually, that's what I read. That he said he couldn't allow anybody else to voice Ash. But
everything he touches, Bruce Campbell, I love him in. Whether it's Spider-Man, the game, or the movies, even though he's got small parts in both of them.
Yep.
I can't remember the USA show that he was on, but it's fantastic. But I love it.
Yeah.
Her Notice.
He was on Xena.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. And then he was in what was the cowboy one? Can't think of what it was called now. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And Burn Notice, that's what it's called. Burn
Notice. Yeah, yep.
It's fantastic in that.
Yeah, speaking of Hercules.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of Hercules, that voice actor situation reminds me of James Woods playing Hades, because he just loves playing Hades so much that he's like reprised his role in like the TV series and in like every Kingdom Hearts video game. That's why there's always a Hercules world in like every Kingdom Hearts game, because they got James Woods.
Oh,
that's actually really awesome,
right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting the announcement that Bruce Campbell will be doing the voice of Ash because what was it, Showtime, or I don't remember, that Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm. It was like HBO or something.
Yeah, that was canceled. So he said, "I'm done. I'm retiring as Ash." But he's coming back. So, have you guys ever seen the first Evil Dead movie?
It's funny you asked that, Roger. I've got the DVD of the first Evil Dead movie because someone's like, you got to watch this, and I haven't watched it yet.
Oh. You got to.
No, I haven't
Sam
watched
Raimi's.
it yet either.
Oh, really? Okay, so you have to watch it, and it was made to be a serious movie, like a serious scary movie, but it's like such a joke. And Ash is like a nobody in this movie. Like he's like this kind of like weak character, but he's the only one that survives. And then they're like, well, let's just make like Evil Dead 2 and then Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness, which was so good. Like, yeah. So, and there's two versions of Army of Darkness, if you didn't know that. There's an American ending, and then I want to say like European ending or something like that. But I like the other ending, not the American ending.
Yeah.
Better because it's funnier. Yeah.
What's the best? What's the best cut of Blade Runner then?
The best cut of Blade Runner?
Yeah. Are we going theatrical cut? Are we going extended cut? Are we going final cut?
I just watched the final cut the other day. I shouldn't say the other day. I watched it before I watched the new Blade Runner movie. I don't know. I think theatrical cut, I guess I'm going to say.
I haven't watched any of them, so you're the authority in this matter, Roger.
You haven't seen any of the Blade... Have you, Karrington, seen any Blade Runner?
The new one. Does that count?
Yeah, I saw the new one too.
Wait, hold on. It's like totally off the games, but you saw the new one, but you didn't see the first one? Well, how could you watch No, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Oh my gosh.
Different generation, man, this is what happens.
Oh my gosh.
It had Harrison Ford. It's supposed to be a great movie, so I had to check it out, and it was fantastic.
So many people
right.
say the second movie's better than the first movie, though, Roger.
Well, it is better, but the first one is really good too.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Moving on.
to the next item. Yeah, moving on. This is local news, somewhat local, I guess. A game company in Minnetonka, Minnesota, created a game to help kids with ADHD, autism, and dyslexia. The game company is called Kinuu, Kinuu, and created a game called Brainiact. And the CEO of Kinuu wanted to make a game that was affordable and convenient for parents. So right now there's actually, well, I think it might have passed already, but there was a summer camp that allowed kids to play their game and eventually play their game and then get, I guess, want to say like therapy through the game at the summer camp.
Oh.
And eventually the company does want to allow the game to be played at home. And then the game allows kids to learn motor skills, balance, and coordination. There's actually an event coming up on September 13th. It's a free event to allow parents to experience what the game is going to be about and the therapy, I guess, what the game does provide. So that is going to be on September 13th from 7 to 8 p.m. at St. Louis Park. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to the website at www.kinuu.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Games for
I wish
good.
I lived up that way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, maybe September 13th. Well, Thursday night. I was going to say we should make a trip up there, but it's Thursday night. So
Yeah.
But maybe we can get them on our show and talk about their game. That'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
Do either of you have any other news that you want to talk about?
Yes.
I've got two things.
Okay.
You go first, Karrington.
Okay, so thing number one, Nintendo is finally launching their online service sometime next month.
Yep.
So be prepared for that when it comes out, which I'll probably be subscribing. And for those of you who do not know, it's super cheap. I think it's like $20 a year. So
Yeah.
it's not even a big deal to even throw that kind of money down. But they are hoping to have like a Netflix-esque type service where they'll have available like classic games such as like Mario Brothers on the NES, and then you can play online with a friend, so you can even play those classic games over the internet with your friends. Actually, I have three things. And then thing number two is that someone discovered that Nintendo is working on a GameCube emulator for the Switch.
Ooh, yes,
So
please.
you might be able to play GameCube games soon via virtual console.
We've been wanting GameCube games on Virtual Console forever.
I know. It might be a thing soon. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Don't get my
And
hopes
then
up.
thing number three, though, I think is going to be like amazing. So if you have something such as Game Pass on Xbox, there's a game out right now that's just now made available called Graveyard Keeper, and I'm calling it Dampe the game. Dampe being the Graveyard Keeper from Ocarina of Time. So that's what I'm excited to play that right now, and I'm totally gonna try and make this a meme called Dampe the game instead of Graveyard Keeper.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I heard that game is like Stardew Valley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, instead of a farm, you're taking care of a cemetery.
Yeah. I
a
didn't
fun
realize that game
concept.
was out. I saw that game about a month ago, and I was like, that looks really cool.
Well, if you have Game Pass, it's available now. Oh yeah.
I've got an item.
What's up, Christian?
Okay.
The Spyro Reignited trilogy that Roger isn't very excited for got delayed 2 whole months. What's up with that? It was in a perfect spot, guys. It was perfect. It was going to come out, I believe, 2 weeks after Spider-Man. That would give me plenty of time to 100% Spider-Man, get the Platinum Trophy, hopefully, move on. And then I'd have like all the rest of September and October to just play Spyro Reignited trilogy. But no, they delayed it into November, the same time Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out.
Ooh.
Oh man!
And don't forget, you're talking Smash Brothers territory also.
That's true. That's true. It's going to be a messy time that November.
Did you hear that sound? That was my heart breaking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't care. I don't care. It's hard.
Oh, I'm sad.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, yeah, okay. Good. I'm glad that you're sad. Hope it
But yeah,
comes out
I can't say
soon.
it's totally like it didn't completely blindside me because there was news that came out not too long ago that the second and third games of the trilogy were not going to make it on the physical disc and they would be available as patches. So it was kind of clear that they were butting up against some kind of deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So they pushed it 2 whole months back, like a month before release. That's a little weird, but yeah, I'm glad that they're taking the time to make sure it's good.
So speaking of Red Dead Redemption 2, kind of, sort of, Christian.
Yeah, gameplay reveal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going. Did you see it?
I did.
Uh-huh.
You saw it, Roger?
And?
No, I didn't. Well, I
No?
did not see the new trailer.
What?
No, I did not. No, I
What?
didn't yet. Yeah, no, don't spoil it for me. I gotta see it yet.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I haven't even played the first one, and the second one, I'm like, I have to play the first one now.
Wait,
Like,
no,
I have to.
Yeah. Oh my. Okay, again.
That's
How
right.
could you play the second one without playing the first one? You have to play the first. Karrington, the first one is really good.
That's what I've heard.
The second one's
I
a
have
prequel.
to work on Shadow of the Colossus right now, so I gotta
Oh,
do
you gotta.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's fantastic. That game is so good.
The second one's a prequel, so you get a pass this time, Carrington.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
see,
Good point.
I could pull it off still.
You could.
That's true. You could. In fact, I would actually endorse that. I would say that's
Wow.
okay.
The Roger
Ooh.
stamp of approval. That means a lot around these parts, Carrington.
Yeah.
I know. So I think I think I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, take it to the bank and cash it.
I will. Don't worry. Don't you
Uh,
worry. I will.
Yeah, I do have to see that trailer.
Once
Yeah.
that game comes out, that can keep me busy until Smash Bros. Comes out.
Yeah.
I know between now and end of the year, it's gonna be a really busy year for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, things are coming up.
I love and hate the holiday season.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
The Rockstar has such a weird way of doing trailers. They just have like stuff happening and then they have lady narrating over it. I think they started that in Grand Theft Auto 5 and it's
Mhm.
weird. It's not like any other video game trailers. It's just like, and this is your character and the reload animations are very accurate to life. And we have enhanced the weapon handling. They feel like real weapons. And I'm like, okay. I thought the trailer was fine. I just want to get my hands on the game.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Rockstar is different anyway because they don't show up to any conventions or anything like that. They just do whatever they want
Exactly.
whenever they want.
Yeah. Even their TV spots will have that lady narrating. They're like, in Grand Theft Auto Online, you can take your experience across the globe.
Yeah, that's kind of weird actually, now that you mention it.
Keep your ears peeled for that lady.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
she can have a new wife, you know.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're going to need one next week.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh boy. All right, so moving on to the next segment, listeners' feedback. Listeners, if you want to give us some feedback or have questions for us, you can send us an email at info@gamerheadspodcast.com or send us a direct message on Twitter at gamerheadspc. You can even message us on Facebook because now that Christian's on our staff, he is the curator of Facebook, if you will. So. All right, so the first item that we have here, I don't have that much from listener feedback, but really the only item that I have is Phil, our friend Phil the chef.
Phil the chef.
Yeah, on Twitter he asked, because he found out that Carrington's going to be on the podcast, asked if we can keep Carrington from singing on this episode.
I think I've already sang a couple times already.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
kind of. Yeah.
I think we broke
Yeah.
it already. I can't promise anything, but I will try and refrain myself from this point forward as far as this episode is concerned.
I said it's impossible, so not going to happen. The other thing that we did send out, though, on Twitter this past week, we asked our listeners to vote which game Christian and I should be playing as part of our new premium series called Backlogged. And the results are in.
Mhm.
And the 2 games that got voted on were Alan Wake and Uncharted 3.
Ooh.
Wow.
Those were the
Wow.
2 top votes. So I'll be
can't
playing
believe they
Uncharted
tied.
3.
Mhm.
No. You have to play Alan Wake.
And Christian's playing Alan
Yeah.
Wake.
I'll be playing Alan Wake. I'm excited to finally have the opportunity to get to it. I'm tempted to play through Uncharted 3 as well because there was a day I already had a PS4, but I was like, okay, it's time for me to do some trophy hunting. It's time for me to do some cleanup here. So I dusted off the PS3. I popped in Uncharted 1, played that through 2 more times and platted it. and then I played through Uncharted 2, played that through 2 more times and platted it. And I got to Uncharted 3, and I got my like spreadsheet set up of like where the treasures were going to be. I was all set, and then I just didn't do it. But
really?
Now I might do it because Uncharted 3 is the only mainline Uncharted game I have not gotten a platinum for.
Oh, so maybe we should play both of them.
Maybe we'll see.
I think you should. And then when you're done with Alan Wake, you can move on to Quantum Break.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See,
which is a great game.
Really? Because Matt Christian, who is part of our podcast, no relation to Christian.
Not me.
Okay, he's not dead, but he's just not on the podcast anymore.
He's quite alive. He's doing really well.
He's alive.
No problem. But he's a huge fan of Alan Wake, but he wasn't as big a fan as Quantum Break, actually.
I could see that. They're both very different, and the way Quantum Break handles everything is also different. But at the same time, like the technology and the idea and the concept behind it deserves the support. The story's decent, but to me, it was the fact that I don't know. It's just that mix of video game, and they made like a TV show type thing, kind of intertwined with it, and then depending on what you did in the level that you're playing in would affect what would happen on the TV portion of it.
Yes. I played it for like 5 hours, and it was pretty good. I think I played it really close to release, and I had it on PC. So I was playing that lovely Windows 10 store port, and boy, that thing can really nag me. But now it's out on Steam, so I think I think it would be a great time for me to jump into it eventually.
Yeah, especially since like when it did first come out, there were a lot of bugs, but they've been fixed now. So that's
ironed them out. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've not played that game either. So yeah, maybe after Alan Wake. Well, I don't have. Actually, it's not part of my backlog. So yeah.
Remedy Entertainment is amazing, and they deserve your support.
They got a new game coming out.
I agree. Yeah, maybe after Alan Wake, I'll add it to my backlog, but we'll see.
The game on PS4, which I'm excited for as well.
Yeah, the lady with a breathing gun or whatever.
Yeah. Control is what it's called.
Control. That's it.
Oh, I haven't heard of this game.
Yeah, it was shown during Sony's press conference at E3.
Oh.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was so distracted by Sony's conference.
Yeah.
It was pretty distracting.
Flute guy, may he live on.
Oh, no.
He's not dead either, okay?
He's not, but he needs to be seen to the world.
Jeez.
That's all I have. So again, listeners, if you want to get a hold of us, please do, and we will read your feedback on the air here. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into our hot topic. So stay tuned.
Hi, this is Michelle Madison from the Video Game Outsiders podcast. We've been churning out stupidity and gaming since 2004, and we would love for you to check us out. So visit videogameoutsiders.com for more information or find us anywhere podcasts are available.
Hey, it's Karrington from Real Dudes Podcast, and with me I have some fantastic co-hosts. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
This is Andrew coming to you from Lynchburg, Ohio.
This is Cody coming from you also from Ohio.
And this is Kyle coming to you straight from the armpits of West Virginia. We are an indie gaming podcast. We all share a love for games, and you can check out our show on Podbean. Just search for Real Dudes Podcast. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, really any of the podcasting outlets that you like to use. Again, that is Real Dudes Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you love video games, you will love our show.
Do you like video games? Do you like to read? Alright, guys, I know that those two things usually don't go so well together, but my new book, The Minds Behind the Games, Interviews with Cult and Classic Video Game Developers, is kind of like an ESPN 30 for 30 collection of interviews with some of the coolest creators in video game history. We're talking iconic games, Deus Ex, Mortal Kombat, Wasteland, NBA Jam, not so iconic, E.T., Night Trap, indie games, Pro Wrestling X, Towerfall. If you love video games, you will love my book. If you know nothing about video games and want to get in the know, read my book. It's available wherever fine books are sold: Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, and of course my site, patrickhickeyjr.com. It's an awesome book. I had a ton of fun writing it, and simply put, if you want to get in the know and you want to find out stuff that's not even on Wikipedia, check it out. You won't regret it.
Do you remember the days when console games were pure simple fun? No loot crates, season passes or crowdfunding. You just paid for the game and it was yours to keep. You didn't have to sit through hours of boring cutscenes, and there were no loading screens to keep you from the action. At Four Horses Games, we remember those days and we aim to bring them back. Miles and Kilo, our latest release on the Nintendo Switch, is pure action from start to finish. Run, jump, slide and swing your way across 36 action-packed levels as you and your dog try to escape a haunted island, battling bosses along the way. Still need more? 20 tough achievements and a time attack mode keep you going that extra mile. Reviewers are saying that Miles and Kilo is a must-have title. Available now on the Nintendo Switch and coming to other consoles later this year.
And welcome back to Gamerheads. This week's topic is actually Christian's. Christian, why don't you go ahead and read the topic, if you will?
You want me to read?
Yeah, or say it or something. I don't know. This is your
Say it.
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came up with this topic. I want to give you some credit.
Okay, I'll try to say it and not spray it here.
Okay.
So EA recently announced a moral compass objective to try and ensure fairness, value, and fun are emphasized for all their customers in order to try and bounce back from the Battlefront 2 scandal that we mentioned earlier. So, the first question for us here is, can pursuing these three values actually be considered moral? What do you guys think?
All right, I'm going to start off because I have a lot of thoughts on this, okay?
Awesome.
So, let's say you have a bank. I don't know, maybe called Wells Fargo. Or maybe you have a social app called Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And they do some kind of things that maybe have ruined the trust of their customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they come out and say things like, I'm just going to go with the bank one, for instance. Like, we're going to make sure that your money is safe and secure with us, and we're going to treat you with respect and stuff like that. Here's the thing. That is not a moral compass, okay? That is not a moral compass. That is like the basic expectation I expect from you as a business. That is not moral compass. That's just basic, like, just business. Like, it irks me so much, and I mentioned this on a previous podcast, but it irks me so much when you see a bank or like a restaurant or whatever, and their tag is always like service with a smile, or we're here to trust, you can trust in us. I'm like, you better. That is like the basics of what I expect from you, right? That is not moral compass. That is just basic necessities of a business.
Yeah.
So I think this is a bunch of crap. Like, I mean, look at Wells Fargo, for instance. They came up with basically the same thing, and then like 3 months later, all of a sudden they get in trouble again because they're doing some shady stuff with like, and I won't say like not practices, but here's the thing. It's you say these nice kind things, and then you come up with like these programs that are trying to entice people, and then you have like these not so much from an EA perspective, but from like other businesses where they're like, they have like these, well, we have to get so many goals of these, of like so many sales. So, go do it. And then they empower their employees to do this, and their employees are going to do what they can to, make these goals that they set, and they do weird things sometimes because they're pushed to do weird, pushed to make these goals.
Yeah.
And then it's shocking when it was like, what? I can't believe this happened. How could this have happened? Well, yeah, because that's what you set as an expectation. That is, you set this competition or this expectation that we want to make this much money and get this many sales out the door. And of course that things are going to happen. And to me, it's like no different than with the problems that EA were saying, right? Hey, we got to push making money. We got to make these games, addictive, if you will. Do what you can. And they're like, okay, well, here's some thoughts. Great, do it. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. It seems like those are not moral compass things. Those are just, what are you talking about?
Well, Karrington, do you have something positive to say?
Well, this is what I was going to say. So when you think of a company, let's just say Nintendo. You know, their games are always fun. Even if you disagree with some of their business decisions, no one can disagree that their games aren't fun. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and
I don't know. I mean, I could probably pick a couple games that are not fun that Nintendo made.
But I mean, as a company in general,
Okay,
I'm not like nitpicking any of their stuff. I'm just saying,
okay.
as a company, like when you think Nintendo, you think fun,
Okay.
and you think video games, right?
Okay, I'll give you that. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I think as a video game company, that should be common sense. That's what kind of game you should be making in the first place, because you're in the entertainment industry. You should be providing entertainment.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that it comes down to a money thing. You have to find a way to make money. So I don't. It confused me when EA said something like this, because that should have been their mantra all along.
Yeah, but it's not a moral compass. That's my whole point. Like,
Right.
A moral compass is, hey, you know what? We want to give back to the community, and we're gonna, give money to like XY charity because we want to make a difference in our world. That's a moral compass thing. This is not moral compass. This is just, like you said, basic what you expect from a video game company.
Yeah.
It's common sense. And I watch a lot of different things on YouTube, so I understand that selling a game at $60 is for the company at a loss, because I mean, honestly, due to inflation, that $60 is nothing for them to make any money. So they have to find ways to make money in other ways. I understand that. This is why we have things like expansion packs and DLC and microtransactions. So I get why that stuff is there, because they have to find a way to offset the cost from the things like marketing and trying to make the game, because we're talking millions and millions of dollars. So don't get me wrong, I understand that. I do understand the business model and everything. What I don't understand is the way EA handles their games, how they can just mess things up so badly all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's like they're disconnected with the gamer industry and what we as gamers want. And like I said, I understand they're trying to make money. That's the bottom line. But there's a way to do it that's not so scummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way you guys do, where I feel like these tenets, especially value and fun, I feel like are just kind of base components of capitalism in video games, where if your game is fun and if it's a good value, people are going to buy it and you're going to be a successful video game company. I don't see how that has to do with morality. I mean, this seems like even more scummy, like evil mastermind looking down and being like, oh, okay, all these people are going to buy it anyway. So we want to make sure that even though they're buying it anyway, that it's actually fun, because maybe our games in the past weren't fun. That's weird. And I think,
yeah, right.
But I think if just from the outside looking in, I think a couple of virtues that EA could work on are truth and transparency, because that's something that the game community has really harped on them with, especially with Battlefront 2, because they, surrounding the microtransactions of Battlefront 2, they weren't very transparent. They're like nebulous. This is just how it is. This is how it has to be. People don't want cosmetics. People don't want pink Darth Vader, right? And then that became a meme. And then they're dodging the truth, in addition to just making everything foggy, muddying the waters. And I think that if they just were more true to what they're actually doing, and if they were more transparent to what they're actually doing, I think that they could at least make a lot of gamers feel better about investing in their products. And they still apparently aren't, because the Battlefield 5 pre-order numbers are apparently way down.
Way down.
Yeah.
Well, but I think you make a good point there. Like the transparency is not there.
Mhm.
Like, like so like, how do we know that this game's going to be, I don't know, fair and fun?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like have value, I guess, for us as gamers. Like, how do we know it's not going to be just the same garbage that you fed us last time? You know what I mean? It's I mean, there's no. I mean, if you really wanted to show like this is a change in our culture, then you have to show this is a change in our culture. You can't just say this is going to be. this is the other problem I have with things like this, that these little taglines or these slogans come out and say things like, we're going to be friendlier, we're going to be, more fair, we're going to show value, we're going to make our games more fun. But those are nice things to say, but show us, like, open a little, at least a window, and show us, like, this is how we're doing things differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing that at all.
Yeah.
And maybe with I don't know. I don't want to say, like, Patrick Soderlund's leaving the company is going to change the culture. I don't know if he had anything to do with that culture. I don't think that he had anything to do with that.
Yeah.
But maybe with that shakeup, maybe things are going to change. But I kind of doubt it. I think it comes from the top down. These are easy words to say, but if you don't show it, nobody's going to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, earlier.
And what is?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, as far as, like, I want to bring up Nintendo again. As far as, like, Regis Fils-Aimé is concerned, like, what the thing he always says that Nintendo is we're fun. We're all about family, and we're trying to get people to come together, and get friends together. And what Nintendo Switch is the perfect place to take it to, like, a friend's house and play together. And so that's something that they have proven over the years, not just with the Switch, but just over the years. You can say what you want about the Wii U. It was still a great console to play with friends. I still had a ton of fun with it. As far as EA is concerned, I don't see it right now, only because they're saying, like, from here on out, this is what we're going to be. But then you look up their sports games, being NHL, Madden, FIFA, their biggest revenue every year are their sports games. Like, there's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't changed those games at all. Like, I read it in, like, I think it was like a forum or something, or I don't know where I was. Who knows when I read that? Like, they should have started, if they were going to make things more fair, fun, and all that stuff, they should have started with their sports games, because that's their big money makers right there.
Yeah,
definitely.
You mentioned earlier, Roger, that an actual moral move would be to, like, donate money to, like, an organization or charity or something like that. Do you think that's how a video game publishing studio could work on their morality?
I think to me, I think that if you want to work towards your morality, right? Like, I think that you got to show it through either the works that you're doing, like that Kinuu, like we mentioned, right? Because I feel like that company, well, I know the CEO has a child that has, I think, dyslexia, I think. And so they walked into, his story was, and I read this, that he walked into a waiting room. He saw all these kids with parents waiting there, and how expensive things are. And some parents have more than one kid with learning disabilities. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to make something that would be affordable and something that's going to be fun for the kids as well, like more engaging for the kids. So to me, I think that's a moral compass thing, right? Mm-hmm. Seeing a problem and then saying, I'm going to take that up as a challenge and do something about that. But if you're making games for fun, I'm not going to expect you to, make a game that would alter, like, or make a game that could change somebody's life overall. But I do think that you can say, well, then, you know what, I see that people are complaining about the fact that our games are too addictive or whatever, so we're going to give money to charities that deal with I don't know, addiction or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be too much, but I just think that this is not a moral compass issue. This is just basic. If you're gonna, moral compass is really putting, like, doing the right thing for the right reason, going above it. I don't know. I guess you could say that's, like, a little bit moral, but I just feel like this is not, I don't know. It just seems like this is basics of what I expect of a company, not a moral compass thing. Unless your company is so amoral, and then you're coming out and saying, we have to change our culture so much because that's how bad we've gotten. Well, then maybe you do have a moral compass issue. Maybe you do have to change your moral compass. But it just seems like this is so basic. This doesn't seem like a moral compass thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I regurgitated a lot there.
That's
Sorry.
good.
Oh, it's all good.
That's 2 Roger rants in a row. I'm loving it.
I know. I know. I had a lot of thoughts on this, and I just feel like I'm just puking up all these different thoughts.
As you said over on RDP, you think a lot of thoughts, Roger.
Wow, I do think a lot of thoughts.
Well, I guess finally, what do you guys think this will actually do to the games that come out of EA? Do you guys think it'll change things at all?
Well, their next big release is Anthem, which is in February, so we shall see.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. This is the thing. That game was already in the works, right? There's no way that a cultural change could affect that game. And this is the problem. So if they come out with that game and it has any kind of like loot boxes or anything like that, people are going to point fingers and say, this is garbage, and they're going to lose any credibility.
Yeah.
That's true. But they have said that, I don't know, there will be no like pay to win models. So like I said, we'll see. But I have faith because it's BioWare.
Yay.
Yeah.
And say what you want about Mass Effect Andromeda, it didn't have anything crazy like that. Just bad bugs and not good writing.
Thank you for being positive, Karrington. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I do like the Mass Effect. Like, this is what I said about Mass Effect Andromeda to someone recently. Like, the original Mass Effect trilogy, like, you know, imagine my hand's like really high up. Like, this is the bar they set. And then Mass Effect Andromeda, imagine my hand about halfway up. That's where Mass Effect Andromeda like came to be. It's not hot garbage like the internet said it was, because I'm not total negative person. Like, I even like Mass Effect 3, even though the internet did not.
Yeah, thank you for bringing positivity to this podcast, because I really bring this podcast down.
Yeah, right.
You're such a Debbie Downer, Roger.
I am. No,
I'm kidding.
I get angry about these kind of things when they come out and say we're gonna, you know, a moral compass. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, that's just. I'm sorry. Like, this is. Your company has to be so bad if you're saying this is a moral compass issue, and maybe it is. I don't know.
I think what happened was they got those numbers from the Battlefield 5 pre-orders, and they're like, we got to change some stuff.
Well, that's the thing, right? I don't think so. If let's say that maybe the numbers didn't come back, it came back like people liked the game, and yeah, okay, we have loot boxes, but blah 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 blah. The only reason they're changing is because they got caught. That's the problem. It's nothing because they thought, oh, it's not the, you know, we had to change our ways because this is not the right thing to do. They got caught. That is not a moral compass. That's just, we got caught, we got our hands slapped, now we got to do things differently. Yeah. No, a moral compass comes from within you and in doing the right thing for the right reason. And this is not doing the right thing for the right reason. They got caught, and they're paying for it now.
I think Philip Mucci needs the similar rant.
I don't know. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I think that was a good way to sum it up, Roger.
Yeah, me too.
All right, folks, if you want to let us know what your thoughts are, send us an email at info@gamerheadspodcast.com, or you can send us a tweet at GamerheadsPC, or you can go on Facebook and send us a message there, facebook.com/GamerheadsPodcast. All right, before we go, let's move into the games that we're currently playing. Karrington, why don't you go first?
Boom. So I'm always playing Overwatch. If you add me on Facebook, add me on Xbox Live at Desert Fury 90, you'll probably see me play some Overwatch. And I'm also playing Haruki right now on the Switch, which we got from the developer, which, by the way, is the same developer who assisted in making Sonic Mania. So, yeah,
that's incredible.
Wow.
They assisted. It wasn't Christian Whitehead, so it's not his new game. But
it wasn't me either.
What, Christian? Why not?
Because my head isn't white.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. You got to pass this time.
Thank you, Karrington.
You're welcome. Right now, that's all I'm playing.
Nice. Christian, what are you playing?
Well, I've been playing more Dead Cells, but I'll leave the Dead Cells talk to you, Roger, because I'm sure I talked a couple people's ears off about Dead Cells last podcast. But I'm about 12 or so hours into Yakuza 0. Have either of you guys played Yakuza 0? I know, Roger, you just mentioned that you picked it up.
I did. I have not played it yet, but I did pick it up.
Yeah. What about you, Karrington? Have you ever heard of Yakuza?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I've never played any of those games, but being Japanese, I lived them.
That's awesome.
Carrington's not a PlayStation guy, right, no. Karrington? You're not a PlayStation guy.
Not at heart, but I do own one. But I will be getting Spider-Man, so don't worry.
Okay.
Yakuza's on my list of games to buy eventually.
Mm-hmm. Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
It just made its way to Steam, actually. Yakuza 0 did.
Okay.
So you can get it on PC now, which is awesome.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Chris. Carrington.
Hey, a PC. I've got one of them.
Yeah, that's a spirit. But Yakuza 0 is, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Yakuza has been a series that's been on my backlog for a good long while. And I think, like I mentioned with the PC port, now is just a great time to jump into the series because it's kind of seeing a resurgence with Yakuza 0 making its way to the States here on PC and PS4. So it's pretty accessible. And there's Yakuza Kiwami on PS4, and that's basically a remake of Yakuza 1. And there's Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is a remake of Yakuza 2. That's going to make its way over to the States pretty soon here. And I believe, if I remember correctly, they're also going to have plans to remaster and localize Yakuzas 3, 4, and 5 and bring those to the States as well. And Yakuza 6 came out earlier this year, if I remember right. So it's just Yakuza everywhere. Like, you can't live this Yakuza down.
Hey, you don't want they're the Japanese mafia. You don't want to let them down.
Exactly. But Yakuza 0 I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I'm about a dozen hours in, and I still feel like I'm kind of barely scratching the surface at what there is in this video game. It's crazy. There's lots of dialogue, very cutscene heavy, but the story stuff is really intriguing. I'm really enjoying it so far. But yeah, there's long cutscenes. There was one that was like 22 minutes long, I think it was. So we're impeding on Metal Gear Solid territory here, which is my favorite video game series of all time.
Wow.
I just started playing that series, actually.
Oh, that's awesome, Karrington.
I started with Metal Gear Solid 5.
You did?
I feel like that's blasphemy with a lot of people when I tell people, but it's the one that's accessible because it was free on Games with Gold on Xbox.
Totally.
Yeah, it was also free with PlayStation Plus, too.
Ooh, good call. Yeah, Yakuza, I'm enjoying it a lot. There's like the story involves like the seedy underbelly of like this bustling Japanese city. It's really cool. The main characters that you play as are incredibly likable. They're like really honorable people, and they clearly like have goals in mind, and it's easy to get behind them and root for them, and you're happy that you're playing as them, which is really cool. And even like some of the side stuff leans on the story end of things, where like a lot of Western open world stuff is just going through like a bunch of side things and checking checklists, because you're like doing the tower and then doing the next tower and then doing the next tower, and then you unveil a bunch of things and then you do that thing and then you do that same thing like 10 times. Whereas here it's really weird because like there's just side stories everywhere. Like I bumped into a lady who lost her daughter, and it turned out her daughter was in this cult, and then I had to join the cult, and then I had to, sneak my way in there and then figure out what they were doing. Or there was this band that was showing up, and I had to teach them how to be mean because they were too nice, but their whole like shtick was that they were really mean and punks. So I had to teach them how to be really mean. And then I had to tell one to like tell a story about how mean he is. It's great stuff.
So was it like Plankton trying to teach SpongeBob how to be assertive?
Exactly.
Like
Yes, exactly. Okay. And they're not the only characters that are like that either. I thought that was weird. Like there's like this lady that you have to teach how to be very mean to her clients. But I'm not going to get into too much details here. I mean, running into like these little side stories is just wonderful. And it's really great. It's really charming, and it makes me smile every time. And all that side stuff, the story stuff is great. The gameplay is different. It's like this beat 'em up. It feels like an old Genesis or SNES game almost, where you're just like button mashing. You've got like a light and heavy attack, and you've got dodge and block. But you're just beating these dudes up, and then you just pick up anything in your surroundings and just wail on people. Like you're picking up trash cans, signs, traffic cones, like salt shakers even, and just whipping people with them. And the hits all feel really great, weighty. They connect really well, and every like blood goes everywhere, which is awesome. But you can turn it off in case you're squeamish. Don't worry. And I really like it. There's a couple of different fighting styles that you can take on to like change up the pace of things. So you've got like a really quick and fast one. You've got like a one that's in the middle. And I always end up picking the middle of the road. I like having the best of all worlds, because that's kind of how I am. I'm the jack of all trades, but the master of absolutely none. So that's how I like to play my video games. And I'll like to pick the one that's like in between, and I'll beat people up and do my power moves and suplex them into the sidewalk and watch their faces crumple against the sidewalk because spit blurts out. It's great. It's really good. But the interesting thing about this game is that death is a big deal. Like when you're fighting all these dudes, you're not killing them. You're just like knocking them on their butts, and then they get back up and they're like, oh, that man's tough. So like killing people in guns is actually a really big deal, and it like factors into the story pretty heavily, where like if someone's dying, it's a big deal. Whereas like in an Uncharted, you're mowing down 300 innocent bodyguards. So it's really different in that way, and it's really cool. And the Japanese city, it's called Kamurocho, and I believe it's fictional. But exploring it is a lot of fun. There's like everything's really bustling. It's very small in scale, but very deep. And a lot of buildings have rendered interiors that are very detailed, and everything is populated with people. All the streets are all full with like junk and trash and people, and it's really cool to just walk around. And I definitely prefer it to something that's just like this barren wasteland like Mad Max. That's really enjoyable. And this game is very steeped in its Japanese roots. There's no English dub here, folks. You're going to be doing plenty of reading and listening to lots of Japanese voices. But the localization for the subtitles, I think, is really good. They do a good job of like putting in slang and stuff and kind of changing a tone through a conversation in like someone becoming more familiar, more comfortable while talking to someone and what have you. So yeah, I'm really enjoying Yakuza 0 so far, but I barely scratched the surface, guys. I'm still going to be playing it. I'll probably talk about it on next podcast.
Wow.
It's really good.
What I got out of that, Christian, was that being mean to people makes you smile. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, that's you got it. Yeah. I had a side note. Do you guys ever have dreams that are just memories of past events?
No. But I've always wondered about that. Like, what? I've heard of people like that.
Yeah.
Where that has happened to them, but I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people either. And I thought about that while playing through Yakuza and Rise of the Tomb Raider not too long ago. Was that like they use people sleeping and having dreams about their past as exposition. And it's just weird to me because it just like all of a sudden clicked with me. I was like, wait a second. I don't dream about my past. I dream about really weird, abstract stuff.
Yeah, I don't dream about my past either. That's weird.
Plot hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plot hole.
But I have heard people that I have heard of people and friends where they do dream of past events.
Okay. Is it because
it is a thing?
Japanese, Karrington?
That's true.
Maybe it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I was Japanese so I had those powers too.
You do get a lot of powers being Japanese, and I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, Yakuza 0 confirms that fact.
Cool.
Like being good at math is automatic. Like I just can't.
Oh no!
Or knowing martial arts, it just happens.
Yeah.
Boom. It's just a few of the things that come along.
Awesome
with the territory.
Perfect. What have you been playing, Roger?
Yeah, so I have been playing. I'll start with the first game that I haven't played as much because the other one's taking up my time. I have been playing more Octopath Traveler. So I got my 8th character now. So I have all 8 of them. I have to beat the boss for the hunter now. The huntress, that's who I have right now. But then once I'm done with that, then I can move on to chapter 2 for all the characters, which will involve more grinding because I have to get my characters up to the certain level to get to each chapter 2 for each character. I mean, I can try taking them on, but I'll get my butt kicked. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, have either of you played Octopath Traveler?
No. Not yet. It's on my list though.
Okay. It's really good. Like I don't know, it just harkens back to like really good memories of playing these types of games. And I just love it. It's so good. It's so good. And you know, I don't know. Like people are complaining like, oh, the story's not that intriguing. I actually find it pretty intriguing. Intriguing enough to make me
your face is not intriguing.
Oh yeah. I would never say that, but
well, that's probably a good thing. I don't know if you want your face to be intriguing.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends on the situation, I guess.
Yeah.
But the other game I've been playing that's been taking up actually more time, taking away some time from Octopath Traveler, is Dead Cells.
Yeah.
What is this Dead Cells? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so it's this little game.
Mhm,
It is
mhm.
actually a little game. See, this is a game. This is interesting. So to me, I think this is a game they did a really good job with making the game addictive, but making it fair too.
And fun, would you say?
Oh, totally fun. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
They
man,
have
they
a
following a moral
going on.
compass?
So I'm not good. I will say I'm not good at the game, but I love playing it. Because even if you're not good at it, even if you can only beat the first level or so, which I can only do, but you feel like you make progress in the game, and it's so good. It's just every round you're like, I can do it. The next run I'm gonna make it farther. I can do it. It's so good, and it's so fascinating, and there's not. I mean, Christian. I mean, let me know if you agree with this. I wouldn't say it's like steep in story, but there's a story there.
Yes.
So it's intriguing enough to keep playing, and I don't necessarily need to know the story, but it's certainly intriguing. Of like, oh, what's this? This is a secret. This is kind of cool. What is it? What's going on here? But it's so good. It's so good. I mean, it reminds me of like Castlevania in some aspects, and I was thinking about that when I was playing this today. Castlevania could come out with a game like this because that's so like Castlevania.
Wow.
In some regards. You have different weapons you can get, and it's cool because while you unlock different weapons, you never really know which drops you're gonna get, and then you get like a really good set, and then when you die, you're like, oh damn it, I'm never gonna get that set again.
Yeah.
I think it was Dan Tack that said this on the Game Informer podcast. This is a gamer's game, and I totally agree with that because like this is it's just so good. It's just oh man, like if you love games like a Rogue Legacy, or if you like games like Metroid or Castlevania, like you would love this game. It's in that vein, and the graphics are not. I wouldn't say like they're like fantastic. They're not bad. I mean, they certainly do what they need to do, but they're not like, that's not what this game's about. It's an interesting time for sure, because it's like two games that I'm playing right now that are very retro style that just are so good.
Oh, it warms my heart to know that you're enjoying Dead Cells as much as I did.
Yeah, I'm not as good as you, though. I will say that.
It doesn't matter. I'm not good at it either.
Well, you beat the game. I have not. So
now, would you guys say that the controversy with the whole IGN thing, that you think that was some publicity for that game that helped it out in, big ways?
Probably.
I actually think it did.
Yeah.
So I do think that it did give some publicity to the game. I do think, though, that this game, I mean, even without that controversy, I think that this game certainly stands its own merits. It didn't need that to certainly make a splash in the gaming community, but certainly I think it has helped.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good.
People are like, what is this? What is this Dead Cells that you told me? So I've been playing it on a Switch, so I haven't run into any frame rate issues at all.
Good.
So that's good. But maybe I'm just not far enough in the game. I don't know. I heard it happens later on in the game. I will, and that's the other thing too. I will say that all my deaths, I have not felt that any of my deaths were cheap deaths. I always felt like, yep, I did something stupid there. Should have done what I did. Although I did learn something, Christian.
Yeah.
I will never put my hand in a cursed treasure chest. That's for sure.
Yeah, those are tough. You gotta make it all the way to the end without getting hit.
Yeah.
Or kill a bunch of enemies.
Yep, exactly.
They're so cute though. They're like, hey, really punch me good, bud. And then you punch them good, and then you're cursed.
Yep. So never doing that again.
Yeah. That's something that I like about the game, is like the weird, quirky personality. Because you got the bubbling treasure chests that are animated and say really funny things. I laughed really hard the first time I saw the dialogue that was coming out of the chest, because I saw one and I knew that I didn't want it. And so I just sat there, and he was sad that I wouldn't open him. But I wasn't going to open him. And then like your main character, he'll make like funny, quirky, like really exaggerated animated movements. So you'll like do these huge shrugs or like these really corny thumbs ups. I like that a lot too.
Yeah. Or when you look at the pile of corpses, and you're like, hey, these look like me.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah,
Good
it's kind
stuff.
of weird. It's a weird. The sense of humor is very dark, but it's funny. I like it.
I like it too.
It's a good game. It's a good game. Carrington, you should. I think you'd love this game actually.
I think I'm gonna go buy this as soon as we stop now.
Oh, and then I will say, I have not played it yet, but next podcast I'll certainly be talking about it. I picked up God of War. It's on sale right now.
What?
For
What?
$35.
What?
That's
What?
huge.
Yeah.
What? Now I gotta go buy it.
Yeah, it's on the sale on the PlayStation Store for $35, along with Far Cry 5 is also $35 right now.
Ooh.
Oh, and then I'm just going to mention one other pickup I made. I have not played it because I just picked it up yesterday and I'm not home. But I picked up Metroid Trilogy for the Wii.
Oh,
very nice.
cool.
Very nice.
Do you have it
I
on
played-
disc?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's
Oh.
not very common, is it?
No, it's not.
No, it was a hard time. I mean,
At
the
Jake
GameStop.
store?
Was that? No,
Wasn't it
no.
at Jake store?
No, it was at GameStop here in Manitowoc. I can't find it anywhere in the Stevens Point area. I saw that. I looked online and Manitowoc was the closest, and I was like, well, I'm going to be there this weekend. So I stopped in. And the crazy thing was, you would think that this game would be one of those games that they would put, like, they have like certain games that they put out like as, you know, hey,
Yeah.
these are like top games or featured games or whatever. And it was like buried in the
Wow.
stack of just like the games. And I was just like, really? You put Animal Crossing? I mean, not that Animal Crossing wasn't a bad game on the Wii, but you put that above this one? Like, this is like a Wii essential, man.
Bad
Yeah.
form. Bad form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got
go
a
ahead.
digital copy of it Wii U when that was on sale for like $20. So
Me too.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's good knowing that I've got it sitting there that I could go to it at some point.
Yeah, I figured I should. I mean, I played the first one and I played the third one. I didn't beat the third one, but I figured I should play them before the fourth one comes out. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you haven't played the second one at all?
No, I have not.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, because I never had it.
Oh, Roger.
I've
Now
only
that's
played
on
through
my
the first one.
backlog.
I'm sorry, Karen.
See what?
I've only played through the first one.
What? Christian. Oh, Christian.
I'm sorry.
Another games we're gonna have to add to the
Add it to the
backlog.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah, those would be good ones.
All right. One last thing. How can people get a hold of us? Carrington, how can people get a hold of you?
So for me personally, I'm on the good old Twitters at Desert Fury 90. You can add me on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network at Desert Fury 90 as well. And if you want to check out the show, Real Dudes Podcast, we're on all the podcasting stuff, whether it be Apple, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addicts, all that stuff. We're there, Real Dudes Podcast. And then Twitter's at Real Dudes _pod, Facebook and Instagram at Real Dudes Pod. And yeah, check us out if you don't already.
Nice. And you should. I love your show. So go check out the show. If you like this show, you'll love The Real Dude.
Thank you,
It's a
Roger.
good time.
I enjoy listening to this show, which is why I'm here today.
And you'll really like listening to it when you're on it.
Thank you.
Christian, how can people get a hold of you?
You can reach me at Twitter at Christian Kupza, or you can hit up Facebook at facebook.com/Gamerheads Podcast.
And you can reach out to us on Twitter at GamerheadsPC. You can email us at info@gamerheadspodcast.com. You can email me specifically at roger@gamerheadspodcast.com. Yeah. And then reach out to us on iTunes. Leave reviews. We'd love to hear what you think of the show. Or send us a message and we'll read it on here. So thank you, Carrington.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Christian. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Christian.
Yes. You're welcome. Any day.
And thank you, listeners. Carrington, we'll probably have you on more often and he returns if that's cool with you.
I am perfectly fine with that.
Okay, so you'll be our fill-in co-host until B returns. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for listening, everybody, and Gamerheads out.
Bye.